Hey, Ben Norman here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my YouTube video workflow, the 11 steps that I go through every time I go through the ideation, creation and promotion stage of my YouTube videos. So if you're new to YouTube and you're looking for a workflow to follow, alternatively you've been doing it for a while and you're looking to kind of spice it up, you're looking for some more ideas, you are going to find it across the following 11 points. So I'm going to go through my overall workflow and share that with you, and then in the subsequent videos I'm going to be going into detail of each of the individual steps within that workflow, breaking it down and taking you through step by step each stage of the process. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified of all the upcoming videos within that. So without further ado, let's get over to the first stage in my YouTube video workflow, and that is ideation. So when I talk about ideation, I mean an idea pops into my head, I see something as I'm going through YouTube, I get asked a question and I think that would make a really good video on explaining to people how that works. Basically, any ideas that you get, you need to find a way of recording them down. I use notes on my iPad and I just chuck ideas in as I get them and I cluster them into different subjects. So say I have an idea on an SEO video, I would put that under the SEO heading if it's a general business growth video, etc. And I will basically put those ideas in my document so that when I'm ready to get on to the next stage of planning out my YouTube content, I can go to that kind of go-to list of ideas and go, yep, that seems like a really good place to start. And then I can take that idea and I can bring it into the next step of my workflow, which is step number 2, research. Now, the really important part here is taking our original idea. We firstly want to narrow down the search term. Think the keywords that someone's going to search. Now, I'm skipping around a little bit because there is a subsequent part which is there's certain tools that we need. So vidIQ, TubeBuddy, keywords everywhere. Links are in the description below, so check those out if you've not already got them because they are going to make your life a lot easier. When we start off from taking the idea, we need to drill down on the search term that we're going after. We need to work out the keywords, the main keywords that we want to go after in that search term. And these tools are going to massively help with that because they are going to show us how much competition there is around that search term. If you're looking at it, you know, TubeBuddy especially will kind of give you a I wouldn't bother kind of rating. You want to make sure that you're kind of getting a good and above really. So when we're looking at a certain set of keywords, it might be the keyword idea that we had. So the search term was actually really competitive. But actually when we start popping that into the YouTube search bar, we can pop in different alternatives. Now remember that YouTube will also start autofilling and predicting what you're going to say. You need to use this to your advantage because when you're seeing that auto predict, other people will too. So people are lazy. They will look at it and go, oh yeah, that's what I mean, click. So you want to look at those as well and see, do they have much competition? Because what you'll often find is by tweaking your search terms slightly, the amount of competition for that drops off massively. And this is where most people fail. They just take a search term and run with it. They don't do any keyword research. They end up trying to create a video and optimize it all around a really competitive search term, which they're not going to rank for. So then they create a video, put a lot of time into it, and they don't rank. By doing your keyword research early on, really drilling down what that search term is going to be, you can make sure that you cover your content right, but also that all of the optimization is for a search term that you actually stand a fairly good chance of ranking for, which means that when you do create your video, you're going to get a lot more traffic. So do not skip this stage. It is one of the most important stages, is the keyword research stage. If you need to sit here for a while and keep trying different alternatives until you find something with good search volume and also low competition, then make sure you spend the time doing it. And like I say, all of these steps are going to be covered in their accompanying video, so make sure you've subscribed below and turned on the bell notifications so that you get alerted when I release them. But basically, don't skip the keyword research stage. Make sure you drill down on that. When you do know the keyword, you want to look at the search results for that search term, for that keyword. Look at the videos that are ranking in the top 3, top 5 and watch them. Look at the comments. Are people telling you that anything's missing from those videos? If so, make a note. We want to make sure we include that in our video. My rule is if you can't make the video better, don't make it at all. But you can always make it better because you will find that's a really good video and that's a really good video. But actually they come at it from different angles, but you've got to watch both of them to get the end result. So let's take the content from both of them, condense it, make it more efficient, and basically deliver it in your way with your spin, more on point, but you've basically got the 2 videos in one. That's worth making and it will be valuable to people. Plus, if you take what people are saying is missing in the comments and add that to your video as well, you've got the most comprehensive version of that video there can be. So when people do watch it, they are going to give it the thumbs up, they are going to comment, they're going to like it, which means then YouTube is going to rank that higher. So by really putting the effort in the research stage, really narrowing down on that keyword and really narrowing down on the content and the delivery that you're going to use will make sure that once you go through the process, that video stands the best chance of ranking highly and then getting kind of favourable feedback from the people that watch it. This leads us on to step number 3, which is the script. Now, I'm not talking about typing out every word in your video. And if you've done the research stage right, which I hope you have, you will find this is a lot easier. When I talk about scripting, what I mean is if you're doing a top 10 or a top 5, you've got those top 5, top 10 bulleted. You know what they're going to be. If there's any bits that you found in the comment that you know that you need to mention, that you know you need to talk about, you want to bullet point them in there. Make sure they're in the right place so that as you go through and record your video, you can flick back to that script. You can make sure that you don't miss anything. You can make sure that you record in order and that it's all comprehensive. Do not fall in the trap of thinking that you can just sit down and go through quite a comprehensive video all from memory in one go without stopping, without checking, without editing. It just won't happen. You want to make sure that you are speaking naturally, which is why I say you do not want a word-for-word script. I know some people use auto cue software and they will pretty much read from a script, but unless you are very talented and you're very good at writing a script, people will tell it just doesn't come across very well. So by having the bullet points, it means that you can talk in your own natural style, but it means that you're not going to miss any of the key points you want to cover and you're going to be able to stick to the order, the delivery order of the content that you've kind of set out. So like I said, if you've done the research stage well, you're going to find that actually putting the kind of bare bones on that script, you've already got the content there, it's just putting it in order. So when you click the camera on and you're ready to record, it is a lot easier for you. So step 4. Recording. We're going to hit the record button now. We've got everything else up to this point. We know what we're going to record and why. We've got it scripted and laid out. Now we're going to hit record. Now with this, I normally go through a similar process. Different people have different ways of doing it, but there's several things that you're going to want to make sure you cover. Firstly, when you hit record, you're going to want to introduce the video. You need to kind of keep your energy up. If you're just speaking in monotone, if your body language is all people make a decision really, really quickly. You need to try and come across with some good energy, you need to be engaging, and you need to be confident. Now, this can take a bit of work to get used to, because if you don't come across well in the first couple of minutes, people just hit the back button, they're going to go to another video, your engagement is going to suck, and your video is going to tank. So you need to, just like with your script, there's always going to be certain things you're going to have. You're always going to have your intro, the video, like the bit about you, what the video is going to be about, why they should watch it. You're going to then deliver your content through your script. Depending on how you want to do it, you are always going to want to kind of introduce the channel. You want to make sure you're asking new people to subscribe because you want people to subscribe to the channel. And by asking, a lot of the time, like, oh yeah, actually, I will subscribe to that. By mentioning it, it kind of twigs it in their brain. And if they're going to subscribe, if it's relevant to them. But you don't need to ask every couple of minutes, but it's always worth asking for the subscribe in the video, dotting it in between bullet points. I wouldn't ask for it straight away. There needs to be a reason. So like with this video, for example, I'm asking new people to subscribe if they're into this video and they're looking to get the detailed breakdown of each stage, which I'm going to be releasing afterwards. There is a genuine reason for people to subscribe and turn on notifications if they want to get that content. So there's a value proposition there. Also, giving people a reason to comment. So asking a question, for example, are you currently using workflows? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments below. Like, that's me actually asking you to do that. So let me know below, yes or no. Do you use workflow? Or is it all new to you and that's why you're watching this video? But by doing that, I'm asking because I'm genuinely interested if the people watching this video are new to workflows or whether they're just looking for new ideas. So that gives me an idea on the kinds of people watching this video, which is really good. By me asking for a yes or no answer, it's really, really simple for you to type yes or no. You don't need to think about it. I'm not asking you to give me like a detailed essay on anything because people aren't going to do that. So by making it really simple for people, it's also engaging. You're going to find something out. Also, there's no right or wrong answer to that. You either are new to it or you're not. But also the engagement metrics then feed back to YouTube. They know that people are engaging with your channel, and then that's a big thumbs up for you as well. And also asking people to like the video at some stage if they like it, because it's not really too much to ask. A lot of people put a lot of effort into putting their YouTube videos together, and it's just a free way of people being able to say, yeah, I like this, really good. But even if people don't like the video, it's still engagement. Now, you don't want a lot of people to not like your video, but you need to be honest with yourself. And if you are getting a lot of people not like the video, you need to look back at the analytics and find out why. What is it that was different in that video that you did that people didn't like? Is there a dropout at a certain time? You can then go back and understand why they dropped out, what happens at that stage, so you can take those learnings forward. But when you're recording the video, those are the kinds of things that you need to include because you want people to like, you want them to comment, you want them to subscribe. You can also ask people to share the video with people they think it would be useful for. But again, there needs to be a specific need to do this. Now, a couple of other things when you're recording which are really helpful. When you're recording, you're going to leave the camera recording. You don't want to keep turning it on and off between takes. But when you're then playing it back, when you're editing, it can be quite hard to distinguish what the good cuts and what are the bad cuts. Now, there's two ways that I like to do this. So once I've delivered a piece of my script that I think has done really well, I will do one of two things. I will either put my hand forward like this. The reason that I do that is that when I'm scrubbing through the editor, visually on the screen, I see my hand come up, I know, right. I then back off of that. That's the bit that I'm going to cut because that's a good take. The other way you can do it, double clap, look at your audio line, you'll see your audio spike. That way, if you clap before a good, after every good take, you get to the clap, so the noise, back it off slightly, work out where you finish, that's where you're going to cut, and then you basically skim back to where you start that section, cut, that's a good section, and you don't have to watch through all your bad footage. That tip alone, I can't tell you how much time that saved me when I was doing. The other thing is, between takes, you want to try and find your neutral position. This is hard to explain, but say I'm about to stop a take, I want to pause, and I'm going to look at what I'm doing. I'm going to come back to my natural kind of center, pause again, and then I'm going to start delivering again. If you do that, what you find is when you try and cut out the middle bit where you're checking your script again, whether you're taking a break, whatever you're doing, you just need to pause before you start, because often what you find, people will look at their script, and as they come back to look at the camera, they start talking again. So when you go back to try and edit it, to start where they're talking, they're looking here, and then you start talking, then you look at the camera. So when you do a jump cut, it's really, really obvious that you've taken a break. Whereas actually, when you watch a lot of videos, this one, for example, you shouldn't really notice many of my jump cuts because I recenter myself to where I always am. And I'm looking at the camera, a jump, you might notice the head move very slightly. But the other thing is, if you've got noisy stuff going on in the background, that can kind of give a jump cut away as well. But they are my kind of like go-to tips. So make sure you are doing those. And like I said, there will be an accompanying video to each of these points, which I will take you through step by step, the entire process. So again, if you haven't subscribed and you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell, and you'll be notified of the next ones. And let's get on to the next point. So now we've got everything recorded, we're going to want to take that memory card out of our camera, pop it into our computer, and fire up our video editor. Now, I use Final Cut Pro X. For others, they like to use Adobe Premiere. You can also use iMovie for free on the Mac. Whatever you use, they're all going to be very similar. I just like to use Final Cut Pro because it is really simple to use, but they all work very similarly. So whatever one you use, you're going to find it's very similar in respect of the workflow. Like I said, I just like Final Cut Pro because it's really, really simple. And I don't want to do anything too jazzy to kind of detract from the content, but I still want it to look professional. So my main go-to, I will import my footage. I will then drag my footage down onto my timeline. Then I go through, like I said, I've given you the tips on how to record. So you're either clapping after a successful take, or you are putting your hand in front of the camera. Either way, you're able to chop up your clips, get rid of the dead bits, the no good bits, join them together, and then you're able to scroll through and make sure your jump cuts line up. But basically, once we have done this, you're kind of going to go through, you can add different animations in. There is a lot of other different stuff that I'm going to cover in the main videos on how I do that, how I add subscribe things and all of that cool stuff. But basically, this is just the editing stage. We're going to get everything edited. We're going to watch it all back through. We're going to make sure that any little quirky things like the audio levels are right, and just there's nothing kind of dodgy in there. The jump cuts line up and everything kind of looks nice and professional. So then we're on to step 6, which is uploading. Now the other thing I like with Final Cut Pro is that I can link that to YouTube. I can put my settings in, which means that as soon as I've watched my video back, I'm happy with it, I can basically just click the button on the right to export, click on YouTube, and basically hit go. And it will just sit there and upload my video to YouTube. And I share with you all the settings to that in that video. But basically, it will then just sit there and upload the video to YouTube, and you're going to want to kind of check back after a little while, make sure that it's uploaded to YouTube. Top tip, when it's on YouTube, hit the play button, make sure you play it the whole way through. Make sure nothing weird and quirky's happened whereby the end of the video's cut off or whatever. Just make sure that the video you've uploaded is right, looks good quality. You know, for that, when you're testing it, you might need to click the button and make sure you are in the full HD version. Just make sure that it plays back nicely. So then we're on to step 7, which is optimization. So everything is in YouTube now. We are going to go into the studio and we are going to click on the video to go into that. In there, we are going to be going through and we're going to be optimizing our title, our description. We're going to be making sure things like our video links in there. We're going to make sure that we've got all of our keywords there. So yeah, we're going to already have that because when we did our keyword research, we were looking at the top ranking videos for those terms anyway. If you've got vidIQ, TubeBuddy, things like that, we're able just to copy the keywords that the other top videos we're using, pop them in our research, so we are able to add those video keywords directly into YouTube, get rid of the ones we don't want. Remember, there is a keyword limit and YouTube will tell you that. and basically we're just going to keep the main keywords in there that we're after. I go into all of this in a lot more depth, don't worry. But basically we're going to go through, we're going to optimize. This is where we're going to put our video thumbnail, which yes, we haven't done yet because that's the next step. But we're going to go through, make sure that everything's uploaded, everything is optimized, we're happy with the content. If we're mentioning anything in the video that we want people to download or go and look at, we're making sure we've got the links to all of that in the description as well. And when I go through this video, I am going to give you my template on how I lay out my descriptions to make sure that I've got all of my links in there. I'm going to share with you how I track all my link clicks and all of that good stuff in that accompanying video. But we just know that we're going to optimize the video. But before we can hit finally save on that, we need to go on to the next step. So step 8, thumbnail design. Now I bordered on kind of saying that this is everything. It's not everything, but it is a lot. The thumbnail has a massive determination on whether people actually click on a video or not. Think about it. Last time you did a YouTube search, you may not have clicked on position 1 or 2. You might have clicked on position 3, but it will have been because that thumbnail drew you in for whatever reason. It hit the nail on the head with the text that was on there. Also, visually, it stood out to you. Now, when we did our research, the thing that I want you to remember is you need to stand out. That doesn't necessarily mean being really, really bright and loud and shouty, because actually, if everybody else is being really bright and shouty, if you did a black and white thumbnail, something that's a bit different, that actually stands out in that environment. So the main key here is you've got the search term you're going after. You want to mention that in the thumbnail or the key point if it's a longer search term, so that people know straight away they're in the right place when they read that. Also, there needs to be something that draws them into that thumbnail. Now, I'm going to take you through this in a lot more detail in the accompanying video, but we basically need that thumbnail to really stand out. And for that, the design's got to look good, it's got to look different, it can't blend into the other thumbnails that are there, and the text needs to clearly mark that they are in the right place, that they need to click on that video. So that's the thumbnail design. It is really important. We need to make sure we get it right because it can determine, you can have a poor video with an amazing thumbnail and an excellent video with a rubbish thumbnail. The poor video with the good thumbnail will do a lot better. So we need to make sure we spend enough time. But like I say, in the video all about thumbnail design, I'm going to take you through exactly how you can do that and make sure that your thumbnail really stands out amongst the rest. So step 9, we're going on to scheduling. And with scheduling as well, we're also going to include playlists. Now, I will come on to this in detail in its own video because I think it deserves it and so often it gets overlooked. We want to schedule our videos. We don't want to have to manually go in every time and set it live. It's a pain in the butt. But also, we don't want to schedule it using YouTube because if we schedule it using YouTube, we already put it in different playlists. Although the video is scheduled and not live, if you go into that playlist, you'll still see the video before it's scheduled to go live. So we want to use TubeBuddy for this. In here, we can set our go live time for the video, and we can also set what playlist we want it added to when it goes live, and we can set the date and the time for that. So we definitely want to use TubeBuddy. Like I say, I will take you all through this in the accompanying video. But also a word on playlists. We want to make sure that when we're creating content, we're going through the research stage, we want to be thinking, how does this video fit into an overall playlist? You know, people like to binge watch, think Netflix. People watch one episode and then they binge watch the whole lot if it's interesting to them. So, and that's what you want. You want to draw somebody in with a piece of content, but the next piece of content needs to follow on. So it's just a natural thing that while you're interested in that you're going to want to watch this one. And people will often come in on a video and then watch all of the videos in the accompanying playlist because it's relevant and they dovetail in nicely. So when you're going through the creation stage, you want to think, okay, how does this fit into a playlist? And then when you schedule, you want to make sure that you are adding your video that you're about to put live into the relevant playlist at the same time. Because that way, not only are you creating one piece of content, but you're also helping create binge-worthy playlists. Also, this is going to help your watch time go up, which we want, And basically it's just going to expose people to a lot more of your content. It's going to increase the chance that they're going to subscribe to your channel, and it's just all round better. So don't neglect playlists. Which moves me on to step 10, which is promotion. So once we've scheduled the video, we've got it set to go in the playlist and it actually goes live, we are going to want to go to our video, we're going to want to like our video ourselves, and we're also going to want to comment on it. So the question that you ask in your video, you're going to want to put in the comment of that video, and you're going to want to like, heart, and pin that comment as well. So we get some early engagement on the video. Yes, it's ours, but we don't care. But also that comment is pinned, and it just helps people remember to actually comment, to answer that question. And like I say, the yes, no kind of responses work really well because people don't really need to think. Then what we want to do is we want to go to the videos that we did before. We want to go into them and we want to leave a comment and like those videos. We want to engage with those video creators. Now, I'm not just talking about going in and saying, I've just created a video on this topic, come and check it out. You want to go in, add value to their video. You can add something extra. You can say, great point on playlists. I covered this in my latest video because what I find is this. And leave a really good, detailed, value added comment. You know, it's not that you don't even need to really mention that you've just created a video. The fact that you go in and you appear knowledgeable and you're leaving something of value, if that resonates with somebody, they can click on you and go through to your channel and scope you out, see who you are. This is really good as well for attracting kind of collabs and actually being able to help you engage with other people that are creating content in your niche. Also, those kind of social signals within YouTube really help you as well. So we want to do that. And then the other stage, you know, there's other things that you can do to promote it. Short term, there's different tools that you can use, which I'm going to go into in more depth in those videos. But to start it off, you're going to want to push it on your social channels. So if you're on Twitter, Facebook, wherever, you're going to want to kind of push that out. If you've got an email list, you might want to use that. There's a whole host of different tactics that I'm going to go through on actually promoting those videos and just sending it a good number of links back. So yeah, step 10, promote the video. Which leads us on to the final step, which is step 11, and that is review and make tweaks. So after your video's been live a few days, we're going to want to go in, we're going to want to, you know, you're going to have obviously kept an eye on it. If people are commenting, you're going to want to make sure that you've liked and hearted their comment and actually replied to them, start the conversations going. You know, this really helps. People like when people take the time out to actually engage with them. You know, it might be that they're asking you questions which you can answer. Top tip, if people are asking questions, if you've missed something, really good idea. Like, you can use that as your ideation to then go and create a follow-up video. You know, there's nothing like other people giving you ideas for content. If they're looking for it, likelihood is someone else is as well. We're also going to want to go through and check our analytics and see a whole host of things which I will cover in that video, but we're going to want to look at what the view time is of that video, like how much of the video on average are people watching. You know, if everyone's dropping out at like 30%, you're going to want to go to that video and have a look, what happens at that kind of time in the video? What am I doing or saying that is causing people to drop out? What can I learn and apply to future videos? You know, if your video is ranking and it's still being searched for quite a lot, but not a lot of people are actually clicking on your link, you may need to revisit the thumbnail design. It might be that you've not got that right. So there's various different tweaks you can make after the fact as well. And that then kind of completes the circle. So you're able to then start again and create new content, and you're able to basically look at your older content, review it, understand, okay, well, it's ranking well, but actually people aren't clicking on it. What if I then put some effort into optimizing and redoing the thumbnails, which you are allowed to do? Alternatively, it might be that you've gone too competitive with the video. You might need to relook at the keywords and re-optimize that. So that is my 11-step process of how I go through, totally from all the way through from idea all the way through to creation, you know, optimization, promotion, and then kind of analyzing it. Like I said, the follow-up videos are going to go into each of these 11 steps in detail. So again, if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell, and you'll be notified as soon as I release those upcoming videos. As I release them, I will also update this one, so make sure you check out the description if this has been live for a while, because all the links to all of those videos will be in there and you can check out whichever one you want to. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.